Questions directed towards Michael Minahan, spokesperson on communications, energy and natural resources. Has the current government set a realistic target that all homes and businesses will have high-speed broadband by the end of the decade?
Well, I believe that they've set themselves a target already. Whether it's realistic or not is different. It just depends on the opinion of the people. For every single home, they're talking about 600,000 homes in Ireland that don't have high-speed broadband at the moment, and unless they can deliver that to at least 600,000 people, I'm not quite sure whether they will by the end of the decade, but hopefully they will, because it's very important in the modern day to have high-speed broadband.
And do you feel that the current government is doing enough to ensure rural areas are served by high-speed broadband, or do you think there's more they can do?
Well, I think they could do a little bit more. I mean, they're talking about putting it in place in 2016, but I'm not sure why they can't have it done sooner. They're talking about the end of the decade, but I mean, they could have it done much sooner if they had a better plan in place. And I'm not quite sure whether they've thought this through 100%. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it.
And do you feel that the lack of high-speed broadband, obviously it can't be argued that it has contributed to the lack of job creation in rural Ireland and business struggle without it? Do you think that children, maybe in schools in areas that suffer, such as Cavan, Leitrim, maybe rural Kerry, Galway, schools in those areas, the pupils are suffering as a result of this?
Well, I think it'll be very important to target the younger generation with high-speed broadband. It'll be more important to have the up-and-coming generation learning the ways of how to use the internet, and obviously having high-speed broadband will affect them if they don't have it, especially in places like Roscommon, Leitrim, Monaghan. These are the most affected areas, and I'm not quite sure whether enough has been done to make sure that the young people in these places have got high-speed broadband.
Okay. And why was more not done when Fianna Fáil were in power up until 2011 to combat this? I mean, it's quite clear that this has been a problem that's been Ireland are lacking well behind the EU average of connectivity for broadband. Why was more not done when Fianna Fáil were in power?
Well, I mean, you have to look at the figures at the time, and you have to look at when you're talking to 4 or 5 years ago now. I mean, the resources weren't in place at the time. The country was in a much worse state, and we didn't have the correct resources to put this in place. But obviously, if we were given the opportunity now, I believe that we would have a much more efficient and a much better plan going forward with much better results that would comply with the EU regulation.
And that sort of goes on into my next question: is why if Fianna Fáil were in power again, what would you do to combat this problem, or would you change the current government's approach?
Well, the first thing you do is you tackle the most affected areas. I mean, they're talking about working through Ireland's map, community by community, but they're not saying where they're going to start, they're not saying how they're going to combat the issue. And especially in, like I've said, Leitrim, Roscommon, Kerry, Monaghan, these places they're the most affected, and they should be hit first. And if we were in power at the moment, I believe that's where we'd start.
That's perfect. Thanks very much.